Hey you guys, what's going on? Game number 16 for the Sega Genesis Mini collection. This is Streets of Rage 2, and we are about to check it out. Spoiler alert, this game is fantastic. So, got the jams going, straight bumping. All right, just want to let that rock for a minute. Let's see, let me get 5 men, and then yeah, that should be it. That should do it. Got the big dude, we got the normal guy, we got the girl, and we got the little fast guy. Alright, I'm gonna just go with him. He's the balanced character, Axel. So yeah, this is one of the best fighting games ever made right here. I think this was a response to Capcom's, what was that game called? Final Fight. I don't know why I couldn't think of that name. But yeah, this is a response to Final Fight. And they did a pretty good job. I really like this better than Final Fight by a large margin. But I have a few gripes with this game though. There was Streets of Rage 1, obviously. This is Streets of Rage 2, but there was Streets of Rage 1 that came out on the Sega Genesis, and that had a character named Adam, and he was so it was this guy Axel, it was Adam, and then it was Blaze, the girl that wears red, and it was just those three in the first Streets of Rage. And you know, this guy Axel was the standard middle ground guy. He was strong. He was, you know, kind of medium speed, where he was medium strength, medium speed, you know, just, you know, average. Then they had Axel, who was slower. I think he had slower walk speed, but he was stronger than everybody else. And then they had, of course, Blaze, the girl, who is, you know, faster than everybody else, but she's weaker. And then, so I always picked Adam because I thought he was the best character in the game. And he had like the best reach. He had just the strongest moves. And for this game, they took him out. Oh, this guy's about to stab me. They took him out of this game. Ah, man. Okay, here we go. All right. So for this game, they took him out, and I think he is captured by the bad guys. And so the reason why these guys are fighting now is because they're trying to get Adam back. And then so okay, I'm like, all right, whatever. Streets of Rage 3 comes around. They took the best character out of the game. Okay, Streets of Rage 3 comes around, and I'm expecting to see Adam again. They saved him. He's still not in the game. So it's like they just completely removed the best character, in my opinion, out of the game. So that's like my big gripe with Streets of Rage, their Streets of Rage series. Alright, so I'm gonna go over some controls real quick. You punch with B. Just you want to grab somebody, you just walk up to them, just touch them. Okay, there's these guys right here that the guys in yellow, they'll grab you, right? If they approach you, how can I word this? If they're moving while they touch you and you're not moving, then they'll grab you. But if you're trying to move away from them or whatever, if they have the forward momentum when they touch you, they'll grab you. But if you have the forward momentum and you touch them, then you'll grab them. So what they do is, the guys in yellow, all they do is just throw you. That's all they'll do. There's some guys that all they'll do is slide. These guys just, they don't grab, they just punch. So anyway, you press B to punch. To do that move, you press forward and B. See, the guy just slides. Forward, like a dash in Street Fighter or whatever. You forward and then punch, and he'll do that move. This is probably the best move right here in the game, cause see, it does that. Gives those multiple hits, and it goes through like multiple enemies. You can really clear out a group with this move right here, and it's really strong too. Press A while pressing forward, holding forward, and press A, and then he'll do that. Really powerful move, but I think it drains your. Well, I know for sure it drains your health, so it's kind of like a get off me desperation type move. You don't want to do it all the time. And then this move right here also takes your health, only when you contact enemies with it. But if you're not pressing anything else, then that's when it'll come out. Everything, don't press anything but A. I can't talk today, man. But see if I can hit her with everything. She's off camera, but oh well. All right, and then we have, of course, jump. Jump, and then B is a jump kick, and then jumping down in B while you're in the air, press down in B, and then he'll do that little thing right there. And what it does is, that doesn't knock him down, it just stuns him so that you can go in for the combo. See if I can do it to her real quick. She got that whip, so it's gonna be kind of hard. See, like that. And the idea behind that is you want to do that and then kind of, go in for the combo or try to grab him or whatever. And one thing I like to do is just grab enemies and then just kind of throw them into other enemies. Kind of see, like that. There we go. And try to clear the crowd. And then you can do this to enemies. That looks like it really hurts. And then so if an enemy grabs you, like he just grabbed me, and he throws you, you hold up and B and C at the same time. It might be just C, but I always press B and C at the same time. Maybe next time somebody throws me, I'll try to just press C and see if that works. Up and C. But you land on your feet if you do that. And I always thought that was a pretty cool little move. It looks flashy, it looks cool. And it saves you. I hate this stage because of these motorcycles. Oh, but how you do this move is jump and then B. So you grab them. Well, I did it from behind, but you want to jump to get behind them, and then press B like that. And then you press B to swing your pipe, and then if you hold down B, you can, and then press C at the same time while you're holding down B. You can throw your items like your knives and the pipe that I just threw. And they also have these moves. If you hold down B, he'll do that. Let me try to. Let's try to do that with somebody. Oh man, it didn't work that time. Let's see. There we go. I don't know if that's worth the trouble. It's kind of a difficult move to do, you know, but oh man, yeah, this is really annoying right here. Let's hit somebody with a mega thing. There we go. Oh, and if you let me get away from this explosions. So annoying, man, this stage. And then the boss is even more annoying because he flies. And you don't have anything to knock him out of the air with, really, reliably. But if you hold down B and then press C while nothing's in your hand, he'll do like a backhand. So that's kind of cool. We never use these moves, but they're kind of cool. Cause this is you can't. It's not a move that you can just kind of do on the fly. You gotta be prepared to use it. So if somebody just walks up behind you, you're not gonna be able to just do a backhand. So that's what kind of sucks. If only the Sega Genesis had more buttons. Oh wait, there's a controller that does have more buttons, but we're not gonna talk about that controller. So when I first heard about Streets of Rage, I was at home, I was a little kid, and then my cousin calls me, and he was over at my uncle's house. I remember my uncle, he was a big Sega Genesis, big Sega Genesis fan. He had the Sega Genesis. He was the first person I knew that had one, and he's the one that introduced me to the Sega Genesis, right? And so my cousin's over my uncle's house, and he's like, "Hey, Jari, check this out." He calls me. He's like, "Jari, check this out." And all he does is he just plays the intro to Streets of Rage 1. And then, okay, I'm listening to it, and it has like the little flute or whatever that is at the beginning that's playing. And then the beat starts kicking in, and I'm like, whoa, what is this? Because back in those days, games didn't have like hip-hop beats or anything kind of, any kind of modern style of music. It was all like chip tunes, and which was cool. I loved chip tunes. But, you know, they were all pretty much standard video game sounds. And while this was still a chiptune soundtrack, you know, 16-bit processor and sound chip and all that, it had a hip-hop beat to it. And that was just that was unheard of in video games. It was just so amazing. And I was like, what is that? And it said, I knew it was a video game, but I'm like, what video game is that? And he told me about it, and ever since then, man, I've been a Streets of Rage fan. We played the game. The game was just as good as the music, and I love the character Adam. And oh man, this guy's kind of easy right now. That's the easiest I've ever beaten that character. And then yeah, man, I've been a fan of Streets of Rage ever since. And there's a version. It's a unofficial. It's like a fan-made version of this game called Streets of Rage Remake, I think it's called. And that is the definitive version of Streets of Rage. It's on PC. And I mean, you know, it's not official, and I don't know if you know it's legal or whatever, but in that gray area kind of thing. But it has like all the Streets of Rage games in it, and it's like completely made from the ground up by indie developers. I think it's just like a few people, but I think it took them like years to make. It took them like a really long time to make, but they remade every pixel, every sound, and they did such a good job, man. It's like amazing what they did. Like the sound it sounds exactly the same, but it sounds a little bit better. The graphics are exactly the same. It's just amazing what they did with it, man. Every single Streets of Rage game is in it, but it's like you pick the route of where you want to go, and that's how you determine what game you're gonna play. So you don't just go to a menu, or what is he doing? You don't go to a menu and just say, hey, I'm gonna pick 1, 2, and 3. You just kind of pick which road you want to take, and that'll automatically take you, you know. But then there's also, it's like so much more to it than just Streets of Rage. I said I was gonna do the thing, but I didn't. But did the thing when he threw me. Let's see if this guy. I'm gonna let this guy throw me. Just throw me. Oh wait. All right, wait now. Just throw me. Oh, this guy wants to punch me. Damn. Okay. Like that. But yeah. So you choose what road. Dang, he is just backhanded. Okay. Okay, yep. So it is just C. You hold down up and C. So up and jump. And then that'll save you. You'll land on your feet like a cat. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. So there's alternate routes within each section of I don't know, say you pick Streets of Rage 2 like route or whatever. There's a part where in the first stage, instead of going straight and then going into the bar and then, you know, eventually fighting that lady with the whip, you know, there's a part where you can go into a building instead, and then you'll end up on the rooftops, and it's like completely made up for that game, and it just expands the game so much. There's other sections just like it, man, and this is really neat what they did with it, man. They just really went way above and beyond, man. And there's so many like options. I think there's a character creator. It's crazy, man. I mean, Sega really should just kind of buy that game off of them, or make some kind of deal or something. Give them some royalties or something, man, because that is, in my opinion, the definitive version of Streets of Rage right there. And it's kind of like going back. Dang, I'm getting jumped. It's like going back to this after playing that game is like, man, going back to this after playing that game is like, man, what am I doing? You know, it's kind of like this feels so bare bones and dry compared to that game. But not saying that this isn't a great game though. This is still an amazing game, and it wholeheartedly deserves to be on the Sega Genesis Mini, in my opinion. I don't think too many people will argue with that either. And then so after this, there was Streets of Rage 3. Streets of Rage 3. So the Streets of Rage series is known for its music. That is his biggest. That's his biggest. Besides the amazing gameplay, that's his biggest appeal is the music. That's the big standout feature of the game. And Streets of Rage 3, man, just had some really weird sounding music, man. It was like, I don't know, man. It was just like weird beat, more like techno. And then Streets of Rage always had like a techno, like a lot of their music is like a techno beat, but I don't know. It's just like the beats were weird and really sporadic. And then there's some parts where like in the first stage in particular, there is, I hate how he drops his weapon when he grabs him, but I guess what he's gonna do, right? Oh, this guy. Yeah, the first stage music had like this weird like sound, like screeching noises and like loud beeps. It's just weird, man. I couldn't get behind it, man. The graphics looked really weird. Alex still wasn't in the game. I don't know, man. But they did introduce some cool characters. Like I think Shiva was first introduced in Streets of Rage 3. I don't believe he was in this game. He might be. I don't remember. It's been a while. But Yeah, the game wasn't a complete bust, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's just too weird for me, man. And then they had a kangaroo. And then there's an old man with a robot body. It just really just went off the rails, man. It just got a little too weird for me, combined with the music and then all that, man. It just, I was checked out for part 3. I don't know why they did all that, but some people love it, so. Always fall for that slide. Not this time. This is kind of weird right here. This reminds me of Contra for some reason. So this thing has like invincibility frames or something. You punch it the wrong time or it bounces back wrong and it hits you. Alright. Oh, another thing about that fan-made version of Streets of Rage, the Streets of Rage remake, is you can play with an AI teammate. So you can, I don't know why I got that chicken, but whatever. You can play with an AI teammate, and you get to determine like if they're greedy, so they pick up a lot of items. You can determine if they're aggressive, so they'll just be really out there, just like really, you know, giving that work to the enemies. So you can kind of just kick back for a little bit. You really don't have to, like, you know, do too much. You can make them kind of play kind of lame to where they're just kind of really just kind of sitting around, not really doing too much. So you get a chance to really play with some. Oh wow, he just reversed my grab. But you know, if you want to play with a little bit of assistance, but not too much, you still want to enjoy, you know, doing most of the work, you can do that. Just really a lot of options, man. It's really cool game. I'm just gonna beat this guy and then we're gonna call it. I don't want to get too deep into it. Save that for the mini. And it's probably gonna take me all my men to beat this guy anyway. Oh, he slides back when you hit him. Oh, I was wondering what he was doing. He was staring me down. That's what he was doing. I think this game has 8 stages. It must be a Disneyland or something. Magic Mountain. Alright, beat these 2 guys and I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I think I want to finish this guy with the slam. That's not gonna do it. One more. Alright. Alright, you guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys are looking forward to this coming out on the Sega Genesis Mini. I am. And with that, I will say have a nice day, and I will see you next time.